Thank you, Mr. Ruppersberger. Got to write that down. Mr. Womack.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Secretary Austin, General Milley, great to have both of you here again. I echo the comments of my colleagues in appreciation of your service. General Milley, personally to you, thank you for all that you've done for this country. I'll miss working with you, though I'm sure you're not going to miss sitting in these hearings in front of these panels when you leave your position. Secretary Austin, this is a question pretty much for you, but I'm a big believer, as my colleagues know, in the state partnership program. I think they've added a lot of value around the globe where we have those. No better example than what the Californians did with Ukrainians over time, and I just believe it brings a lot of value to not only the partner nations, but for our own forces, for the National Guard troops that get an opportunity to do some training with these partners. This is related to Taiwan, and as Chairman Calvert said, a delegation of us just recently visited there. I wonder how best we can help our Taiwanese friends prepare for contingencies, and is a state partnership or a modified program like the state partnership program for Taiwan, is it advisable, practical, possible? What would be your comments? Why or why not?
I think it is, and since you were just there, you know that we have a number of National Guard elements that have been working with our partners in Taiwan and increasing their proficiency in a number of areas. To your point, this program adds value wherever we are, wherever we're partnered with around the globe. And I think the point that the example that you use is a great one. You know, Ukrainians benefited greatly from all the work that the Guardsmen did, over the years. But yes, I believe that our continued work with the Guardsmen in Taiwan, I think will be very, very valuable. So we'll continue to work to structure this so that we optimize, the effort of the Guard, and it complements all the other things that we're doing with the Taiwans.
Mr. Secretary, the compacts of free association with the Marshall Islands and Micronesia are up for renewal in the coming months, with Palau's expiring next year. I understand the defense provisions of the existing compacts remain valid regardless of renewal. That being said, the incentives of the freely associated states to continue the security relationships expire with the economic assistance. Because of their strategic location to our military assets present in the countries, these partner states seem to provide key terrain that can help advance our strategic goals as we concentrate on the Indo-Pacific region, while at the same time helping us directly combat Chinese influence. Can you articulate the importance of these compacts to the department? Extremely important,
and I agree with the points that you've made. They do provide, they magnify our efforts in terms of access, presence, so I think we will continue to do everything we can to make sure that we're strengthening our relationships, and that we're whatever additional access we can gain, and we're going to continue to do that. So.
The department's budget this year includes requested multi-year procurement authorities, and we've already talked in your opening statement about that. This is a question basically for Mr. McCord. These multi-year procurement authorities are not typical for munitions, but have been used when procuring large systems such as aircraft and ships. Mr. McCord, can you expound on why the DoD went this route with munitions and how you selected the munitions that I should have mentioned in the beginning of the question, the SM-6, AMRAAM, LRASM, this sort of thing. So can you expand on that?
Yes, thank you, Mr. Womack. Yes, the thought had been for many years that you buy missiles in enough quantities that a multi-year wasn't necessary. But what we found clearly with Ukraine was that the industrial base there on more ground-focused munitions was not agile enough due to a number of factors the Secretary's already mentioned, supply chain issues, common components, workforce issues in the COVID era that have decreased that agility. So the effort that we undertook in the department, really under Deputy Secretary Hicks' leadership, was to do the thinking about where would we like to be in a few years for the more larger scale Pacific contingencies, and start taking those steps now, things that ideally maybe if you had known 4 years ago where you'd be in Ukraine, you could have done some of those on the ground side. And that's what led to what we're doing here, is to expand, as you said, for the first time into the munitions world. And also we have a concept we've been working on in my team for some years of having multi-years that overlapped and reinforced, because so many of these missiles are produced by one or two companies. And so we brought that concept in as well. We do believe that this is going to, as the Secretary said, provide more of a stability signal that companies rely on, because this is a space in the budget where there's been a little more fluctuation than there has been on something like submarines, where we also have multi-years. And so we're trying to bring stability as one of the tools we need. It's not the only thing that needs to happen in terms of the health of the industrial base, but we think it's going to be a big thing that we can do to position ourselves better for, particularly for the larger scale contingencies.
Sorry for going over, Mr. Chairman.